What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having an alright day. There is a lot that we need to talk about, so let's do this, shall we? School is a place you go to learn a lot of things that can help you out in life. Things like the ABCs, the Pythagorean theorem, and so much more. But when there is a global pandemic going on, do you really think that threatening schools to open back up is going to work? Probably not. Here's why. You guys, it's time for that segment called What Idiotic Thing is Trump and His Administration Doing? Well, they are threatening to cut federal funding if schools don't physically open fully by increasing pressure on education leaders as the Trump administration intensifies its schools to go back to having kids in their classrooms in the fall here in the US. And you just go, really? Okay. Now this is why. The reason why is because Trump tweeted on Wednesday morning. He said that in Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and many other countries, schools are open with no problems. The Dems think it will be bad for them to politically if U.S. schools open before the November election, but it is important for the children and families may cut off funding if not open. Okay. Now, he never specified what he will be cutting or, under what authority and everything's on the way. Now, here's my question. In Denmark, Germany, and everything along the way, they have little, somewhat small cases dealing with COVID-19. However, in the U.S., if I'm not mistaken, we have over 129,000 people who have died from COVID-19, as I mentioned in my last video. So, for you to think that opening up all these schools back in the fall, nah. And, now Congress, they hold the power of the purse, and while Trump and his administration have previously proposed cutting funding grants from schools and everything that's a long way with the education department's budget, Congress has continued to reject those proposals. Now, along with that, Congress also have oversight power when it comes to federal grants. And along with all of this, among pushing for a fall reopening was the chief of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Dr. Robert Redfield, or CDC for short. Now, he has guidelines for with these school openings and recommendations, and he urged schools to find ways to reopen while minimizing the spread of COVID-19. Yet Trump disagreed with it. He said, "I disagree with CDC on their very tough and expensive guidelines for reopening schools. While we want them to open, they are asking for the schools to do impractical things. I will be meeting with them." Now, these guidelines that they have them requiring for the students and the teachers to wear masks whenever feasible, spread out desks, stagger schedules, eat meals in the classrooms instead of like in the cafeteria and everything that's on the way, and add physical barriers between bathroom sinks. Now with that, Trump didn't specify on the guidelines with that. People, if I have a child in kindergarten and that class has 20, kids in there, and one of those kids has COVID-19, and that child spreads it to all of the other 19 kids, along with the teacher, and then it brings back to me, what do you think is going to happen? I'm just saying, there's a lot going on. And then there's so much going on with this story. Later on that day, Pence, he announced that the CDC would issue new recommendations next week, saying that the guidelines will not be a reason for the schools to close. And he said, "While we just don't want the guidance to be tough," he said, promising 5 different documents that we will be receiving, giving more clarity on guidance towards what's going on in the fall. I'm just so sad. This is our nation right now, people. But Arnie Duncan, who was the Secretary in Education under former President Barack Obama, I miss you, Obama, he said during a brief statement with reporters on Wednesday that, threatening people, bullying them, and, lying to them won't stop this virus from spreading. And Trump has no legal authority to withhold funds, as he's correct. People, so much is happening right now, and Trump thinks that, with the snap of his finger, all that's going to change. Here's the thing, it's not going to change, okay? Um, with this, as unemployment reaches levels as is seen towards the Great Depression, the public schools face severe state public, like budget cuts and everything, and mass layoffs and everything else along the way. That also benefits with the children's academic and school support that needs to grow. And continuing on with that, how the governor announced on Monday that international students would not be allowed to stay in the country if the institution is doing their schools online, everything else on way, thus having them being deported and going back to their home, back to their states and everything, or the countries. Again, so much is happening with this. People are saying, let's open these schools back up, but at the same time, they not thinking about COVID. Like I say, if I have a child that's in kindergarten and one of those kids has COVID and they spread it out to all the other kids along with the teacher, that's going to be so much. I have so many friends who are teachers, and I know that they agree that is just downright stupid for Trump to think that, you can just threaten people to come back to school, come back to these schools when there is a global pandemic going on and everything else on the way. But again, it's just a lot to bear with. You think, oh, hey, let's push these desks back and everything along the way. Let's have all these kids wearing these masks. Some of these kids aren't going to listen to that. Some of these kids are not going to wear masks. I specifically know if you're in kindergarten to about 3rd grade, maybe to 5th grade, they not going to listen. They're going to think, oh, I got my mask on and I'll take it off. At the same time, it's just a lot going on here, people. But what are you guys' thoughts about this? Do you think that schools should be opening back up to the fall? Because I know certain schools, they're doing online options. Some schools, they want you to come back, but I know in New York, the governor is like, no, we're not doing that. But what are you guys' thoughts about this? If you think that schools should be reopened, let me know in the comment section below. If you don't think they should be reopened, but like online options should be good, let me know in the comment section below. Now, we still in the segment of what idiotic thing has Trump and his administration done, but this one pertains to Trump himself. Now, today, the Supreme Court, they issued a mixed verdict on demands for Trump's financial records that will keep his tax returns, banking, and other documents out of the public eye for the time being. So basically, what that means is they're going to be looking at them taxes and seeing what he been doing with that money. Okay, well, I know a lot of that. He's out there golfing. But by a 7-2 vote, it should be 9-0 votes, the justices, they upheld the Manhattan District Attorney demanding for Trump's tax return, but kept a hold on Trump's financial records that Congress has been seeking for more than a year. Trump tweeted when he heard about this, as usual. He said that the Supreme Court sends cases back to the lower courts, arguments to continue. This is all political prosecution. I won the Mueller witch hunt and others, and now I will keep fighting in a political corrupt New York. Not fair to this presidency or administration. Boy, you better go on somewhere with that crap. Now, Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance, meanwhile, called this decision a tremendous victory for our nation's system of justice and its founding principles that no one, not even the president, is above the law. Now, they are ruling for the New York case to be made more likely for Trump's tax return are eventually going to be made public, that it's unclear if they will be disclosing this before the whole November general election. But more fundamentally, the decision narrows the immunity from criminal investigations that a sitting president enjoys. Oh, sweet Jesus, it's just so much. Now, Trump's tax return and his financial records have been closely watched since the 2016 presidential election. And, he is the first president in decades to refuse to make any of his tax returns public, noting that it is under audit through the IRS has said that this does not prevent Trump from voluntary disclosure. yeah, when you have all those Trump towers that go out of business and you got all this other thing that you're doing, yeah, I figured that's probably gonna happen. But that actually should happen because with was it Nixon that did Watergate and everything some way? It's just so much, and I'm hearing about this. I am happy for this. I can't wait to this for it to be let known what is going on and everything because most people know what Trump is doing with that money because it's just hush hush in a way, but again, it's just a lot to do, just to talk about, but yeah, that's my segment on what is Trump and his administration doing during this whole idiotic phrase that they're dealing with. But what are you guys' thoughts about that? What do y'all think about Trump's tax return? Do you think they actually are going to put it out there and everything along the way, or do y'all think they're just going to keep it hush hush and everything else along the way? This next story I want to talk about, it pertains to superheroes. And no, I'm not talking about me, LOL. I'm talking about shows that we see on TV or apps and everything else on the way. I'm talking about, on shows that's on the CW, pertaining to Batwoman. Now, Ruby Rose, she did a great job as Kat Kane, aka Batwoman, on the show. Some people will agree, some people will not agree with that, but I think she did a good job. And hearing how that she wants to leave after its first season, I just thought, who is going to now play Batwoman? What are they going to do with this after, Ruby Rose left and everything else on the way? Well, the Batwoman series, they have now found a new series lead, and her name is Javacia Leslie. And she is going to step into Batwoman's feet and everything along the way. And this is really cool to hear about this. And Javacia, she said, "I am extremely proud to be the first black actress to play the iconic role of Batwoman on television. And as a bisexual woman, I am honored to join this groundbreaking show, which has been such a trailblazer for the LGBTQ community." Now, you're trying to figure out how, Leslie is going to get into all this and everything. I figured they was going to do a crisis thing where she comes from a different world and everything some way, but it could still be, still up in there. However, they came up with portraying her as a new character on the show called Ryan Wilder. Now, reading the comics, you never heard of that person. You just go, no, never seen that person in the Batwoman comics or Batman comics or, that kind of thing. But she is described as a likely messy, a little goof, and no way to keep her on track. Now, Ryan has spent her years as a drug runner from the GCPD, dodging them and everything, and masking her pain with bad bare hands and everything along the way. Now, basically, Ryan is the most dangerous type of fighter. She's highly skilled and wildly undisciplined. She is out as a lesbian, athletic, raw, passionate, so much more. But yeah, I never heard of this character, but I can't wait to see how they introduce her into the series and everything else on the way. And when Ruby Rose heard about this, she went on Instagram and she congratulated her and everything else on the way, and that's actually a really cool thing. If you don't know who Javacia Leslie is, if you watch the show God Friended Me, she actually was on that show, which aired for 2 seasons. And I, for one, again, I cannot wait to see what they are going to do with the whole Javacia Lewis becoming the new Batwoman for the next season, which I believe comes out in 2021 or probably 2022. Who knows? But what are your guys' thoughts about this? Do you guys think that it's going to be a hit or a miss? Let me know in the comment section below. So this last story, it's really terrifying to hear about this because you don't know what is happening with this person. If you ever watch Glee, it's on Netflix. It's a good show and everything is on the way. There was a character, her name was San Diego, and she was something else. Now, the actress who played her, Naya Rivera, is missing. And, she disappeared at a lake in Southern California. Now, all this happened on Wednesday afternoon when she rented a boat with her youngest son, Josie Dorsey. Then they went out for about 3 hours after they left the dock. Another boater discovered the boat drifting, in the lake and everything, with a child who is Josie sleeping on board. authorities were notified about this, and they went high and low searching for Naya. While trying to get information on there, the child said that both him and his mother went swimming. Now, the child went back, however, the mother did not. And, Josie had on a life vest. However, Naya's life vest was on the boat, and people are wondering what is going on and everything some way. Now, her last post was on Tuesday, where it just said, just the two of us, if I'm not mistaken. But, hearing about this, a lot of people are concerned about this, especially her Glee alum. People are making sure that she's okay, praying for her and everything some way. But what are your guys' thoughts about that? What are you guys thinking about what is going on with Naya? Because I know she has been through a lot via the past few years and everything in some way. But what are you guys' thoughts about that? What are you guys' thoughts about everything that I talked about today about, with Batwoman getting a new actress, about Trump's taxes possibly being made public and everything in some way? If you are a teacher, again, let me know what you guys are thinking about Trump and his administration trying to push for schools to be open in the fall and everything in some way, okay? But let me know what is actually on you guys' mind. Let me know what kind of stories you guys want me to talk about and everything else on the way, okay? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Whenever you subscribe, hit that little bell so you know I have a video coming out. And as always, guys, be safe out there. It's a crazy world we live in currently. Make sure you're wearing your mask. Make sure you are doing public, make sure you are washing your hands. Make sure you are doing social distancing and everything is the one way. But with that being said, I love all you guys. Peace out, and Black Lives Matter.